Coming to you live from deep in the heart of Texas, it's Midweek Marketing with your host, Timothy Black. Each week, Tim will be diving into what it takes to market successfully online, SEO, design, affiliate marketing, and more. And now, here's your host, Timothy Black.
Hello and welcome to Midweek Marketing. This is your host, Timothy Black, and this is episode 7. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the ways to increase revenue for any business, and there's really only 3 ways, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, if you've not done so yet, please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud or whatever your favorite podcastery place is, and check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/midweekmarketing. Alrighty, so this episode, we're twice a week. We're going to be talking about the only 3 ways to increase revenue in any business. When you get down to it, there's only these 3 ways, and I'll expand on these as we go. And this is probably going to be a pretty short episode, but I just want you to get this concept as you move forward, because we're going to focus on number 3. Number 1 is good, but number 3 is the one that you can, it's a service you can sell pretty easily. Once you get the concept, then once you get it, you can pass it on to your client or potential client. So the first way, and this is what most businesses think about only, is new sales. It's pretty obvious. Every business I talk to wants new sales. They want new people, new customers, people coming in the door, signing up on their email lists, finding their website. New sales, new sales, new sales. It's a fantastic way to go. There's no way around it, but it is the most difficult and the most expensive way to go too. That's what SEO is about, getting new people in the door. It is, like I said, it's what everybody thinks about. I just had a meeting with a potential client. Probably won't work out because I couldn't get it through their head. But they're like, we just want new sales. We need, people already know who we are. Our customers know who we are, but we just need new sales. I'm like, yeah, you can't really afford that. In your space, and I did a search for him right there, the keyword he wanted to rank for, and we'll get to this later in the pay-per-click episode, PPC, but those ads on Google that come up when you look for, let's say, lawn service Boston. And those ads that come up, those are really expensive. So I showed him his particular keyword he wanted to rank for. I said, these are $18 a click. So if we click this one ad, I just cost your competitor $18. He couldn't even believe it. I was like, yeah, and the online conversion typically is, 1 to 2%. So you better have the budget to afford $1,800, 18 times 100 clicks, to maybe get one new customer. So it's a brutal and difficult world. But that's how most people think. They just want new people and valid and good. And if you can do that for people, you can charge big bucks, but we'll get to that later. So that's number 1. Number 1 is new sales, new clients, new customers, etc. The second way is to essentially reduce costs. Now, there's a few ways that this plays out, but it's all a variation on a theme. I'll give you some examples of reducing costs, etc. Number 1 is, if you're a pizza shop, let's say, well, you switch ingredients and use a cheaper sauce. So now you're kind of cutting corners. You hire cheaper labor, maybe, or you lay somebody off, or you raise your prices. There are all kind of variations on a theme, but it's essentially the same thing. Raise your price, lower your quality, lay people off, reduce costs overall is what it looks like. So that's number 2, and that's usually not that appealing. So that is why people just talk about number 1, I need new people. But really there's a third way, and this is what so few people get, but bear with me. The best way to increase revenue immediately, like literally today or tomorrow, if you can convince a potential client to do it, is you need to talk to your current customers. It's as simple as that. You get a new sale from a client who already knows who you are. And no one does this. And this is kind of what email marketing is. And this is kind of what the retargeting is, which we talked about in episodes, I think 2 and 4. This is the king. Somebody who already knows who you are is 40 times more likely to buy. That's what online statistics say. They're 40 times more likely to buy a product from you than somebody who doesn't know who you are. Because let's face it, if you did a good job and provided a good service as a business, then why would they not come back and buy from you again? And the best way to reach people, social media is decent. Retargeting is reinforcement, but the best way is just to email people. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's a reason. If you've ever signed up for Target or Bed Bath & Beyond or Zappos or any of these online retailers, they email every day. You know why? Because it works. Every time they hit send, they make money. And what are they doing? They're getting new sales from people who already know who they are. It works like gangbusters. There's no way around it. And what you'll find is if you actually talk to a client or, this is what's going to come up. They're going to go, wow, we just really need new sales. So back to this $18 a click potential client. I was like, well, do you have all your emails? You've been in business for 25 years. So what about all these contacts you have? Do they know that you're not top of mind, man? That was my point. You've got to talk to these people. He goes, well, they already know who we are. And if they need us, they'll call us. I was like, no, if you just send out something every even couple weeks, once a month, I promise you, people are going to be, they're just going to raise their hand and go, oh yeah. And this guy has like $50,000 to $250,000 service. It's a really high dollar service. Okay. I'm like, you've been in business 20, 25 years. Let's collate all your emails. Let's scrub them up, verify them. I'll talk about that later. There's a way to do that to make sure which ones are still live. Because you might have a business email. Sorry, going off on a tangent, but somebody might work at whatever. I'm in Houston, so oil. So you might have Bob Smith at Chevron.com. Well, he got laid off, or he retired 10 years ago. So you've got to go in and scrub up these emails and make sure they're still valid before you start emailing them. Anyway, the point is, let's take your emails, let's put them into an autoresponder like Aweber, clean them up, and just kind of let them know you're still here. Like, hey, did you know we also offer this service? Because I bet you they don't even know you did this. Or, hey, do you know we also service the equipment we just sold you? Did you know that? I mean, did you know that we're offering discounts if you buy 2 or more? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can talk about. And somebody, I'm telling you, one person will raise their hand. And emailing is almost free. It's as simple as that. So why not talk to the people who already know who you are? Now, how do you use that if you are trying to start your own business, do consulting online or offline? Well, here's how you do it, because you're going to get pushback. People are, oh no, I can't bug our customers. It's spam. People literally have no idea that email marketing works. If somebody knows who you are and they're your customer, it's not spam. Spam is reaching out to people who don't know who you are and trying to sell, fake Viagra and fake watches. That's spam. It's unsolicited, unwanted email. But if somebody's your customer, they don't mind hearing from you. If I sign up for Amazon and I bought whatever, something cool, and they go, hey, you know what? People who like that also like. I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of cool. I will buy that. You don't need 100% of people to raise their hand. If you have 1 or 2% raise their hand, you're going to make money instantly. So here's how you frame it. Say, look, you also do, well, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine's an electrician, but he also does like light installations. Like he'll put in like updated lighting, or he'll take down your funky 70s chandeliers and kind of put in recessed cool stuff. Well, I didn't even know he did that. I mean, when I hear electrician, I think this is the guy I call when the house is on fire and I don't want to electrocute myself on the breaker box. Okay. That's what I think of for an electrician. I think emergency. I don't think updating fixtures in my house. So I'm like, man, if you just told people that's what you did also, then somebody's going to raise their hand. If you have 1,000 customers and 2 of them raise their hands and it's $1,000 job, you just made $2,000 for sending out an email. I mean, think about it. So here's how you approach it. Because email marketing is a good service to sell because, like I said, it's really cheap. It's an inexpensive investment is what I should say. You should charge a few $100 for setting this stuff up and creating the content and emailing them out and scrubbing their list and all this stuff that comes with it. But you go, look, man, here's what we'll do. Here's how I'll get paid. We'll go through some of your inventory that doesn't sell or a service that maybe they don't know about, and we'll just email your people 2 or 3 times, and you give me 20% of the sale. So I only get paid if it performs well. This is a good foot in the door. People are usually cool with that. So you get their email list, you throw it into Aweber or whatever your preference is, MailChimp, Constant Contact, yada, yada. You throw it in there, you scrub it up, and you send out an email, and it's pretty easy to track because you just talked about the widgets sitting in the back of the warehouse that haven't moved, or you talk about this service like updating fixtures and the lighting, or, hey, did you know we also service the equipment we sold you, etc. You send out that email, and if anybody reacts to that or signs up for it, well, then you know the sale came from the email. Or you can have any other call to action in there, call the specific number or mention this specific offer. And that way you know. And it's pretty much risk-free as long as they're cool with you emailing them. Because look, it's money they would not have had anyway. It's completely 100% risk-free. Hey, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll part as friends. If it does work, though, I get 20, 25%, whatever you negotiate, of all the sales that come in. It works like gangbusters. Man, can't talk about it enough. selling to people who already know who you are. It is amazing. Amazing. I'll give you an example of a mentor of mine and coach. He does a lot of lawyer work. Now, I'm not a huge fan of divorce, but he's a divorce lawyer. And what he does is, after the divorce, you think the whole thing would be done, right? I mean, sorry, you got divorced. Thanks. Here's your thing. Well, they keep buying services from him because you know what he offers them? He sends out emails to his database, and he has things like how to get back into dating in your 40s, how to co-parent, all these things that you might need. He's got relationships with real estate agents because, a lot of times there's a house selling and buying that happens after a divorce. This guy makes money on the back end of divorces. I know it's kind of sketchy, but it's genius, and it illustrates a point that people will continue to buy from you if you've done a good job for them, if they know you, like you, trust you, etc. So he's got this whole back end in place that it's not just about the service he provides legally, but he's got all these other things. It's kind of genius, and it makes you think differently about this whole process of selling. Anyway, so let's go over those 3 ways again. The 3 ways to increase revenue, and there's only 3 ways. New customers, awesome. Difficult, expensive. Number 2, not ideal. Cut corners, fire people, raise your prices. Not ideal. Number 3, make a new sale from somebody who already knows who you are. Brilliant. Email marketing is the best way to do it. I mean, sure, you can talk about it on Twitter, you can talk about it on Facebook, but email, like I've told you before, is still the king. So give it a shot. And that is about it. That's the idea I want to get across to you in this episode. If you got value from this, as always, I ask you, then you know somebody that might like it, forward it to them, share it with them, let them know, and shoot me an email if you have any questions or suggestions, tim@midweekmarketing.com. And we will see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Midweek Marketing. Come back every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes. And be sure to subscribe at iTunes and sign up at midweekmarketing.com to get exclusive content and tips. And check us out at facebook.com/midweekmarketing.